Hello, and welcome back to the Morning Mindset Show. My name is Kim Guillory, and I am your host. So let's get right to it. I just got off of a call with my VIP clients, and we had a really juicy conversation about a few things, and I decided I'm going to share it with you. Now, this is for you who has a team, is looking for a team, and looking to grow and scale your business. But it is also for you, the practitioner who has customer or clients. This is going to relate either way. So I'll try to reel it in from both sides, but just know that go ahead and use it in a way that applies to you specifically. So I was telling the story about building a team, a strong, powerful team to one of our clients who is building this empire. And I think we all struggle with this, which is why I wanted to turn it into a podcast so that I can share it in the future and have you listen to this over and over again as you go through the stages in your own business. So, whether you are a solopreneur and you're keeping all the money for yourself and you're doing all of the work and wearing all of the hats, or if you are starting to look inside of your organization or inside of your community to find out if there's anyone there who wants to come and build and grow with you, or you who has a team, but it's struggling a little bit and you want to know how to identify and maybe make it stronger so that you guys can grow together. So let's jump right into it. It's three things. So if you have a paper and a pen, go ahead and write this down and see how it applies to you, because that is the best way for you to learn, is to actually be applying it in real time. So the first thing that this person, whether it is a customer, a team member, or maybe someone in your ecosystem who might want to come and help you grow and build. Maybe they've been a customer for years. Maybe they are like winning with your products and services and you see potential in them. They love working with you. They want to help more people. Then first thing, they have to have a personal interest. So the first thing you're going to write down is interest. And I want you even to think about yourself. You had an interest personally first. Maybe it was an interest in making money. Maybe it was an interest in finding something to do so you weren't bored. Maybe it was an interest to heal yourself or fix yourself. But first and foremost, the interest has to be personal. So if you had a personal interest in the company that you own, that you're growing, in the business that you're leading, just write down what was that personal interest. What did you think you were going to get out of it? And you could even say, worst case scenario, even if I don't make a lot of money, even though I'm not successful, at least I will have learned or achieved or acquired. What is that answer? Now, because I want you to apply it where you had interest and how that helped you take the next step and the courage and the confidence to actually open the business, start the business, invest in the business. Now you're looking for the other person who also has a personal interest. Now, listen, it might be an employee who just needs to feed their family. So maybe the personal interest is, I need a paycheck. Maybe the personal interest is, I want to grow something with someone else. I want a new game. I don't want to do this alone. I want to help someone else. I want to play on a bigger field, right? And you're getting my point? That would be their personal interest. This is what it was for me. I was very satisfied in my business. I loved serving customers. I loved making money to have and do the things that I wanted to do. But then I reached the stage where it wasn't enough. I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more. It had become like a habit. I was just really good at what I did. There was no more challenge. It had become kind of monotonous. And then I look at the money at the end of the year and I'm like, I got to give half of this or almost half of this away. I got to pay taxes. What am I going to do? Right. So that's what it was for me personally. I wanted a bigger game. But then I realized to play a bigger game, I needed people because I had outplayed the solo game. So for those of you who are doing six figures or more, you've been playing your own game, you've already done that, you've achieved success, you're talented, you're going to have to go find someone else. And so they must have a personal interest. The service can't be the reason. They have to get something out of it. So you might want to ask this whenever you're talking to them, when you're interviewing, is what is your interest in working here? What is your interest in partnering with me? What is your interest in being an affiliate? Got it? Must have a personal interest. They have to get something out of the game. Number two, they must be invested. What does that mean? They must be invested. It's not just financial investment, it's energetic investment, it's emotional investment. There's other types of investment other than money. They must be committed. The investment is their focus. The investment is the commitment, it's the buy-in, it's the agreement. There must be an investment. They must be invested. They're invested in the company growing. They're invested in you winning. They're invested in the customers winning. They're invested in themselves winning. The reason this is so important is some people have this subconscious, we'll say roommate or sabotager that lives with them. You can see this by the patterns of their history. So nothing ever works out for me, they might think. Everything I do fails. I'm always late to the game. They'll say things like this without even realizing that they're saying it. Now, the problem with hiring these people or bringing them on their team is they're going to want to prove it to be right, which is a counter intention to the growing company. So you got to be very, very mindful about noticing this. So they must have an investment inside the company winning, them winning, you winning, the customer winning. They must be investing thought, time, energy, action, efforts. Okay. This probably is the most important part of this, because the personal interest, there's a lot of things out there, right? There's a lot of things that you could be interested in, and like personally, professionally, financially, but the invested part, the agreement part, they must be clear about this investment, this commitment of everyone winning. So write that down. Everyone winning. They must be invested in the entire team winning, the company winning, the customers winning, and you as the owner winning. Number three, this interest and investment or being invested. The third one is inspired. Because if they're interested and they're invested, they will be inspired to do. They will be inspired to take action. And as brought up on the VIP call this morning, one of my clients said, I will be inspired to take this to others and inspire them. So they will be inspired to take action, because if they're not inspired to take action, they won't take action. This is a problem, right? They will not be pressured to take action. They won't be forced to take action, because if there's not an interest and an investment level, then you're going to be screwed on this part, right? So we need to know that they are inspired to win. They're inspired by being the example for their family. They're inspired by who they become every single day. And they are also wanting to be an inspiration to others succeeding. That is how you know the sign of a leader, because a leader's role or job is to help others succeed more easily. That's what a leader does. A leader helps others win. So these are qualities of a leader. They are interested in themselves. Because imagine this, you hire someone and they're not interested in themselves. They don't care if they win or not. It's going to be a problem. They're not going to care if they get up and work out. They're not going to be trying to reach their goals. They're not going to be trying to improve themselves. How the hell are they going to help you try to improve your company or someone else's life? The second one is the invested in the commitment. If they're not able to commit, to agree, what are you even doing? It's going to be a constant fight trying to force them to get there or coerce them or try to manipulate them to try to get their buy-in. They must have the buy-in. They must be bought in. They're invested. They have an invested interest, right? So that's 1 and 2. And now they are inspired and they are able, keyword. They are able to do. They are able to take action. So the inspiration comes first. It's like there's a desire and then the ability to take action, to do something, to move. And again, you might want to look at personal history. What are they doing for themselves? What have they done in the past? What have they done for other companies? What have they done in other jobs in their career? Maybe they're coming from solopreneur and they just don't want to do it alone and they're tag teaming with you and they're becoming part of what you do. Whatever it is, you want to make sure these 3 things have a little checkbox on the side of them. They are interested on a personal level. They're interested in winning. They are a winner. They are invested. They're committed. They agreed. They were invested in the agreement they made with me and my company. And then they are inspired to take action and they want to be an inspiration in the world, in the company, in their community. This is a very specific person. Wouldn't you say you're looking for someone very specific? And if there's one of them, then there's many of them. It's that simple. So make sure you are checking in on all 3 of these things. Ask questions to find out what their interest is. Ask questions about what their habits are. Like if they're not invested in their own health, they're not going to be invested in your company's health. It's that simple. How we do anything is how we do everything. And the inspiration, guys, that's the signs of a leader, someone that's inspired and wants to be an inspiration to others, wants to see others succeed. That's what you want on your team. You get these 3 things, these qualities, these characteristics, and you nail them, right? You nail this avatar, and you'll know exactly who you're looking for to help you grow because you guys will succeed together. Now, I told you that this could be on the customer side also. So I'm just going to wrap it up with that. So you are looking for clients. Let's just say I'm a business coach. I'm looking for a customer, a client who is actually interested in growing their company, growing their business, becoming an outstanding leader. I'm looking for someone who is invested in their personal, professional, and financial growth that they're willing to invest with me. I'm looking for them to make that agreement, to have that buy-in. And I want to make sure that they are the type of person who is inspired, who has the ability to be inspired, the person who takes action, the person who is a doer, not just a thinker. I don't want thinkers. Thinkers stall. They go into thinking, they go into procrastination that they call perfectionism, they go into waiting. I don't want that on my team. I don't want someone who's thinking and someone who is waiting. I'm not interested. I have thought and waited for a very long time. I'm not doing it anymore. And I've worked with people who think and wait, and they never get anything done. They never achieve anything on their own. They are surely not going to be able to achieve anything with me. If they are in think and wait mode, whether they think it's because they're going to be perfect or they're going to be ready or it's going to make things easier, not interested. It doesn't check the box. That is a big red flag for me. And I can hear it. People say what they're thinking. They will eventually say it. You think it, you say it, you do it, and then you have it. And that's just the way the world works, or that's just the way humans work. It doesn't change. This is not new stuff, right? Because what I have realized is time slows momentum, right? When you have inspired momentum, you take that and you use it in order to start moving. You take the inspired momentum and you take action. Inspired momentum, action. That is a gift. When it comes, you should take it and ride it as far as you can go. I even summed up the call this morning with this new phrase for me. Urgency is the new now, because we have been in this healing decade where everyone's like, I don't want to push too hard. I want to wait and I want to think and I want to make sure. And it actually has created a whole new problem of nothingness. And so once you start addressing all of this healing, I'm not saying to bypass it, but once you've addressed it, then you become the person who goes and does. So many big people get caught in that healing cycle, especially in the wellness world. And I know that's who I'm speaking to here. So I did decide that urgency is the new now for me, because I'm looking at time and I'm looking at this waiting phenomena that I see happening everywhere. This thinking, like I want to get paid to be a thinker. You're not going to get paid to be a thinker. Everyone else is overthinking. They don't need to pay you to think. They need to pay you and work with you in order to act upon something. And so urgency, what is the urgency? And if this person doesn't have urgency, whether it is as a customer, urgency to heal, urgency to grow, urgency to change, you're not going to get anywhere, because they're going to be waiting. They're just going to be thinking. So I am looking for urgent movement, because I believe time slows momentum, because the likelihood of failure is determined by the amount of time it takes to hit your target or goal or to achieve the thing that you're trying to do. So I'll repeat that. The likelihood of failure is determined, it's determined by the amount of time you wait and think compared to the amount of time you take action. If you can take action quicker instead of waiting and thinking, because waiting and thinking is going to increase the likelihood of failure. Action is going to decrease the likelihood of failure. It's just how it is. Go out and try it. I guarantee you, you already have experience with this. Thinking about when you're going to start your workout routine, thinking about when you're going to start marketing your business, like waiting until the right time, waiting until you're perfect, that has just had more time, which creates more opportunity for failure. If you just make the decision, rip off the Band-Aid, go out and do, something will happen. So the likelihood of failure is determined by the amount of time that you wait, think, or act. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you this week. If you know anyone who needs to hear this, please share the link with them. If you are getting something from this podcast, please rate and review to help and grow it. And I'm pretty sure my team is going to add a worksheet. So make sure you click on the link and you get the worksheet and you actually take the time to work on these 3 I's so that you can find the ideal clients, the ideal partners, the ideal employees or teammates. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.